Here's my kitchen table. I actually moved it into my kitchen quite a while ago, 20 years ago. Chainsaw milled it, cleaned it up. And I've always meant to redo it, but I never got around to it. So I'm gonna do that today on this Wood Mizer, try and get some flat planes and make it a lot lighter. So we'll see how it goes. It's pretty wobbled. There it is, flipped over. You can see all of the chainsaw marks in it. You can see how far out of flat it is, maybe right here. Be nice to get two out of it, but if I can't, then I'll just get one good clean one. Hopefully it won't weigh so much. Just fit. I think we got it pretty well set up. Slab's 54.5 wide. There it is. It actually came all the way through right there. That's cool. All right, so here's my walnut slab. It's all black walnut. You can see that crotch grain, how pretty it is. It's 54.5 wide. It's a 4x8 CNC router, so it'll fit on there, but not by much. And I think I can actually run to this side, but not to this side. So first thing I'm really doing is just trying to get it down so it won't wobble. So I got a couple sticks screwing it down. There's a little bit of wobble in there, but not too much. And I have a vacuum table, but once I turn the vacuum table on, I can't hear. So I'm gonna put the vacuum table on, and I have this really nice surfacing bit here. It's all pretty new. So that's it right there. Now I'm just figuring out how much I want to take off. So I just kind of gap it off of that end. Then I move it down to the other side of the slab and check its clearance. I certainly don't want to drag it on that slab unless it's spinning. And I'll call that 0, and then I'll go down maybe 50 thou from that 0. First pass right here. All right, making some progress here. I think this was 3 passes at 35 thou. Still just a few bandsaw marks in the middle there. I don't want to unbolt it or take it off of the table and I'll lose my 0, 0, 0. There it is, all finished and surfaced. It's actually gorgeous. Came out a million times better than I thought. One little screw up right here. This is a 30 thousandths dip. It started running one more pass and I stopped it. But rather than take the whole thing down another 30 thou, I think I'm just gonna sand out that edge. Put a few bow ties across these cracks. So I think I'm just gonna try and chisel off this high spot outside the window. So I'll just clean this off by hand. Using this right here, CA glue. It comes with a lot of little bottles like this, and you fill these up. Perfect for a high school setting. And there's sawdust in some of those cracks already. Okay, making some progress here. Sanding a little bit, filling these cracks in with CA glue. Looking pretty good. This is all chiseled off. Next thing I'm gonna do is put the bow ties in. This is my y-axis going up and down. So I'm setting this 0 to 90 through my y-axis, and I could see I'm about 30 degrees off for this bow tie. And then I think on this bow tie right here, I think I'll put one in there too. I'm actually right at 90 degrees perpendicular. I'm gonna go into Mastercam and draw those on the CNC router right now. That's how it's gonna cut the pocket out right there. So there's our first bow tie cut out right there. It's a 1/4 inch flat end bit. So there's our piece of thinner wood for the positive bow ties on the laser. I'm cutting them out right here. Pretty thick for this laser, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, looks like it's cutting them. Yeah, these came out. Look pretty good. Oh yeah, that's a perfect fit. No, I'm bringing it in yet. Oh no, those are perfect. Now we're doing a little engrave with the shaper origin right on the corner here to look like a butterfly landed. Just a super subtle engrave. So I can sit at the dinner table right there and look at that butterfly and think of my shaper origin. I like that a lot. All right, making some progress here. The last set of butterflies I put in didn't fit too well, so we remade them. I just cut them a little bit bigger. You can see how that one looks pretty good right there. I used some graph wood. Came out nice. This one still needs some sanding. All right, I went up to about 240, then to 400, just to finish grit. It all looks pretty nice and smooth. Wet the grain down a little bit, sanded some more, raised the grain. I mean, it's still a rough piece of wood, I guess. I decided to use wipe-on poly. All of the oils that I used before ended up, they just seemed to make it too dark, and I really want this grain right here to shine. So I'll time lapse a little bit here. Looks pretty good this morning. Nice and clean, first coat. Sanding down with some 400 sandpaper and then one more coat after this, probably 2 more coats after this. Just about finished. 3rd coat, I might just do 1 more coat on there. Kind of shiny off that light, but it's a clear satin. Kind of see the whole table right there. Really beautiful grain. I'll go in on some of these bow ties. There's a bow tie across one of the cracks. That's actually graph wood, English and walnut mixed. You can see a little better here. I cut this bow tie just right on the graph there, so that's black and English walnut. Pores look kind of big. Maybe 1 more coat. And then you can see all this crotch grain right here. This just shined beautifully. I'm glad I ended up not putting a stain in it, so it stayed so light. It is kind of flat. If you're new to the channel, think about subscribing. This is Topsaw, all things wood, from tree work to woodwork. I teach high school wood shop and do trees on the weekend. This is a walnut I took down a super long time ago. I just kind of temporarily milled it and made it in a dining room table, always to refinish it, and that was 20 years ago. So I finally got around to doing it. So there it is. Natural light would probably look a little more consistent. It's still a little bit wet, and that's some of that shine on there. And dry. The bow ties, they actually look pretty good. All that crotch grain, pretty. There's a table. Let me go stand on top of the table saw. There it is right there. I'm up above. Turned out to be more of a project than I was expecting. But I guess every project always is. All installed. Those overhead lights on there. Pretty flat satin finish. I like that graft. Wood on the bow tie. It looks pretty good. All in all.